lot of Franklin is quite flat, and a lot of fill has had to be placed to manufacture minimum 1% falls. If we didn't do that, we would have lots of areas that would basically not drain, and we would have a lot of, the residents there would have a lot of problems in the future. So hence why there's been and it also relates to providing minimum grades to hook into the trunk sewer, the trunk stormwater systems as well. So that's why there's a lot of fill in the centre of Franklin. Up around Red Hill, there's been extensive consultation with the environmental groups, Heritage. We're still consulting with those people, and we're even talking to the Aboriginal people as well in terms of how to preserve the history and the heritage of Red Hill. One of the reasons there was a scrape done around the base of Red Hill was also on the recommendation of the heritage people that we do that early in case we find any artefacts, so that we can then put into place some management strategy to deal with that. Hence why that was done early.
Get it back out of the scraper.
No, but if anything you discover it, to discover it early. I mean, you have to do your earthworks. You can't. You have to.
Fair enough.
Get in there to do the road.
So it just does seem very expensive for developer and end user.
Yeah. Believe me, we're not doing any earthworks that are unnecessary. So we're seeking to minimise our earthworks costs, and that includes things like trying to balance cuts and fills as well.
Yeah, because fills just have such an expense on
just
the
in terms of the issue with regards to the sale of blocks, what we've done is that because we're seeking to release the blocks as quickly as possible, we're releasing them prior to taking out the soil classification. When we sell the blocks, we're conservatively calling them a H-class block. When the soil classification is available, we'll send that on to the purchaser. The purchaser will either have the H-class block that they think they bought, or we'll get a pleasant surprise and actually find that they have a lesser classification. The other advantage the purchaser has is that when we get blocks valued by independent valuers, they know to factor in the fact that it's a H-class block, right, so that the purchaser has that extra over-putting cost built in to the price of the land.
Or cut off at the top of the land.
Correct.
Right.
Which is why you see, some price differentials between Franklin and some other suburbs.
Always look at the soil tech reports, everyone, before you buy a block of land, if you're one of the people that's regularly missing out on balance, as many are. Thank you. Were there any other questions, John, about Flemington Road? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Can we talk about planning study? Yeah. As everyone would know, hopefully, and if you're sitting on top of a gun smoke at the moment, open it up and read about the town centre planning study. This is what will hopefully lay the foundation for getting a decent employment base in the town centre. You have until Monday to close the business to lodge a submission. Who's lodged a submission so far or done the online survey? 1, 2? 2? How many submissions have you had, Jason? Jason Forrest from ACLA is the project officer on town centre.
As of this morning, we had 60 online surveys. We had 3 hard copy surveys come in, and we got a couple of submissions during the day. So we're pretty pleased with the number of people doing the online survey in particular. People are obviously finding it useful. I've also got here, I've got some copies of basically the paper copy of the online survey if anyone wants to take those tonight. And I've also got the 2 documents and sheet with the address for posting a submission if I'm doing a submission. So if people want those.
Yeah. You're going to? Great, thank you. So 60 submissions, that's pretty good. Thanks, Jason. Has anyone else had a look at the plans yet and had some thoughts on it? I mean, we've got some thoughts, but we're really keen prior to doing our submission up, our written submission, to just garner any other thoughts that have come from people. Julie?
I guess one thing that really concerns me in the planning phase for the blocks in the town centre is we've got a plan obviously for a pool in action, but it would be really great if we could get some other forms of entertainment in the Gungahlin Town Centre. And that's something I've mentioned in my response as well. But, there are a lot of young families here who'd like to be able to go out for a night, go to the movies. Movies is a big one, which I'm hearing a lot on the doorsteps as I'm door knocking around the area. With people with small children, to go to Belconnen, to come back, pay for babysitter, all that kind of stuff, that would be a really great asset to our town centre. Obviously, you'd need to find a developer.
No, I mean, a lot of dollars to go all the way to Belconnen or
it is,
whatever.
and I know because I've done it lots. And, obviously we want to try and make sure that there is a range of entertainment options in the town centre. It's something that's really missing. Obviously, the children's play park, which is adequate, is something else which I hear a lot of complaints about. There are other things as well, but those are the two main ones which I could see being of immediate benefit, because now we've got this option of officers coming on board. But if the kids are out of the car and you have taken them all around the shops, then they deserve to play. And if you are exhausted from driving all the way to Woden and back to work every day, and you want to go out to the movies, you shouldn't have to drive to Belconnen as well. So I'll just add that into the mix.
Yeah, Belconnen Civic, the closest.
Can I ask, you're talking about play park inside the town centre, not the one down at Derby Pond?
No, look, the one at Derby Pond's great, but I'm just talking about, because Gungahlin's got the largest under 5 population in the ACT, okay? Yeah. Getting under 5s in and out of the car is a huge hassle, okay? Getting them into the car at all is a huge hassle. When mothers have put their kids in the car and taken them shopping and they've been well behaved, they deserve a play. And I just think that for the new Nappy Valley of the ACT, we deserve a park.
And the problem is we've got a playground where if you as a couple take your kids into town while one does the shopping and one looks after the kids, but they have eyes in the back of their head because the playground is where? Surrounded by 4 streets.
4 streets. And also, even if it was properly fenced, that'd be a start. But
harshly fenced.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's not a toddler park. It's a maybe a 5 to 10 year old park.
For background for people, we've had some extensive headbutting with the LDA over the design of that park,
and you're lost.
We won some bits because the playground originally was to be right down the other end, opposite the library, on the smallest, skinniest bit of the park. There were some advantages of having it near the library. However, what was of most concern to us was that it was a fair distance from the shopping centres themselves, the supermarkets, if you like. But primarily it was space constrained there, and by putting it in the larger, wider section, there's an opportunity to expand. And we said at the same time that this is just one little single structure type thing you're proposing, and it needs to be already with 33,000 people substantially more significant playground right off the first bat. They moved it, but basically said it's
announce a new park.
As far as
Well, we certainly are for
The map and I see.
we certainly are for
that's got to be
I think you should steal my fire and get us a new park before the election heats up.
we certainly are for fencing around that.
Julia.
So
Certainly are for fencing around that.
yeah,
It's still have fencing, not just around the playground part of it.
yeah.
If kids are just running up and down or even skateboarding
It's only a matter
on
of
the
time
existing
till
thing,
someone gets squashed.
well, it shouldn't have to be, because it's 2 years ago since I put in the thing about that. That was in writing. There was other things at meetings here that mentioned more than once.
And it was such a battle just to get that one scrappy little piece of grass there. In the middle of drought, no one at Thames was prepared to consider
It's
it.
about twice the size of this.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Right, back to the town planning study. We're halfway through the first half of the footy. Queensland's in the lead nicely. Okay, so some thoughts here. I'm not sure if you can see that, Andrew, but we're